Cowboys rookie CeeDee Lamb is ready to carry the torch for the 88 Club. The former Oklahoma Star receiver has lofty goals and isn't being shy about them, telling the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, quote, "Be a Hall of Famer. Have as much of an impact or more than Michael Irvin had on the game and on America's team. I want to be on a team that makes unbelievable memories together. I feel like that is what we are going to do here, and I cannot wait." How much more pressure is now on Dak with Lamb as a part of that offense?
More pressure, of course, because the Cowboys came off in the draft. And by the way, my criticism of Jerry and Stephen Jones is not that they're bad GMs. If I had to figure, like, what level of GM are they, considering they don't really have the credentials to be GMs. They get to be the GM because daddy owns the team, right? Good for you, Jerry Jones. A lot of us would want to install ourselves as GMs, and many of us wouldn't be very good at it, in fact. But especially in this day and age, as it gets more and more sophisticated, my hat's off to Jerry and Stephen Jones. They're good GMs. Not great, but like at least average, and that's a hard thing to be. You know, nepotism usually has a negative effect on businesses. So like, my criticism really is, if you're the Cowboys and you're trying to be the best, why don't you have the best GM? Why, like, you're content with a good enough one? Along those lines, they had another good draft. They did. Cowboys had a lot of good drafts. You look at the guys who are on the roster a couple of years later, compared to, say, a team like the Giants, who have been poorly run recently. Cowboys do a lot better job drafting than, you know, the Giants or Washington. They're in that division. They and the Eagles, you know, are better than the other two, and that's one of the reasons they're a better team, and they've done it again. So, yeah, every year there's pressure on Dak when you see the names coming in, particularly when you just spent a lot of money keeping your number one receiver. And Amari Cooper's impossible in man coverage. And when you look at the offense, you have an all-world running back, and you have guys like Domonique Foxworth saying he's, what's Dak, upper echelon or the next thing it, or already a great quarterback?
Yeah, he's great. He's just a step below elite. He's going to ascend to elite this coming season. You watch.
Got it. He's great, but a step below elite. We all have different nomenclature for this kind of thing. Fine. The offensive line, while it maybe took a step back because of retirement, still a good offensive line. Like, he has everything. Every year it seems like he has everything. Okay, the defense, they should have focused more on stopping the pass than stopping the run in the offseason. Fine, you want to quibble, but they have talented linebackers who underperformed last year. They paid the front. They paid their best guy on the front. They have, like, what more does he need? He even has the coach now that people are saying, that's a solid coach. So, yes, of course, bringing in the best receiver by acclamation in this draft, the one that people are killing the Eagles for not drafting, yes, it puts more pressure on Dak.
I don't understand how it could put more pressure on Dak if you're just saying how they've been good GMs and they've built these teams. These teams have been good since he's been there, and he's been good and great many of the years. He's had a top 5 QBR at the end of the season, 3 of his 4 seasons there. He's been fantastic. He's led playoff game-winning drives on 2 separate occasions. One, Aaron Rodgers kind of stole one from him there with that miraculous pass in his rookie year, but he's been everything you want. So I don't understand how this can be any more pressure. If anything, adding Lamb will take some pressure off of him to be the kind of fulcrum of this offense. He has other people to distribute the ball to, and Lamb is special because he's like a running back out there. And that's what I mean by taking some of this pressure. There haven't been a ton of players for Dak to throw the ball to that are going to take it and turn it into something the way that CeeDee Lamb can. That's what's special about him. So I think he takes some pressure off of Dak, and Dak has lived up to all of the expectations, actually surpassed them considering where he was drafted. And you tried to say how much pressure's on him because of the talent around him. The talent has been great, but the defenses haven't been good. The part of the ball, the side of the ball that he is most responsible for has been good. It's been incredibly efficient. Last year was incredible. They were only second to the Chiefs and the Ravens as far as offensive efficiency is concerned. So the issue on the other side is the defense has been mediocre to worse when he's been a quarterback. So that's something he can't control for. So I think there is a lot of pressure on him. Don't get me wrong. Whether he deserves it or not, I think he's proven himself. He doesn't deserve this pressure. He deserves a contract, and he deserves people to respect what he's accomplished and expect him to keep getting better. But I know the pressure is going to be on him because that's just how it works. We put the pressure on the quarterback. They've gotten rid of the coach. So now that it's going to fall on Dak if it doesn't work out, whether it's his fault or not.
Dak feasted by the numbers on the team from the franchise from Washington, 2 games.
It
the New
feels
York
like you don't
Football
understand what
Giants,
QBR is.
2 games. Yeah, I certainly do.
I mean, it takes
but he's
into
in
the
weakest
strength of
division in the history of football.
strength of opponents. But I mean, it takes into account the strength of opponents. Like it's the best way we have. It's not perfect, but it's the best thing we have.
I agree. It's a good shorthand for sure. I agree with you. It is the best shorthand, but there's like a tipping point. When you're playing a sorry defense, there's no real way to take into account the strength of opponent for a defense like the defenses that he faced in the NFC East last year, at least 4 times out of the 6 games that he had to play. And Dak, yes, he doesn't turn the ball over and things like that QBR certainly values. But he also, the criticism of Dak and the reason he's not in fact great is if you watch him carefully, he didn't make a bad decision there, but there were better decisions to be made. There were plays that he leaves on the field. I never get the sense when I'm watching Dak that he is upper echelon kind of talent, like I get the sense that Carson Wentz is at his best. Though I think Carson Wentz might follow a spectacular play with 2 or 3 impossibly bad plays, and Dak is more consistent. But I have not seen, in my view, I've never looked at Dak and said, oh, that's an MVP caliber player. So I think he has a chance to be, Dominique. Like, I agree. I think he can be great, but I haven't seen it yet. I think he's good. And so, yes, adding the best receiver in a draft to a receiving core that already had Amari Cooper, when he already has Ezekiel Elliott, when he already has, like, everything, like, asking more if you're a quarterback is greedy.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.